You're on.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Monday, November 20th Selectmen's meeting to order. To honor America, will we please stand and pledge allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with public input.
Really?
Okay, Chief, you're early. Come on up. How are you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Thank you.
Double-sided. Flip to the back.
Thank you, sir.
Lots of reading today. Busy month.
A few things to go over. Department had 22 plus storm-related calls on October 30th. They range from trees and wires down, trees down on cars, houses, medical emergencies, flooded basements, and welfare checks. The department obviously worked with Tuftonboro Highway Department, Police Department, New Hampshire DOT, and New Hampshire Co-op, and the Carroll County Dispatch. With the storm having a widespread effect on the power lines, it took longer in some cases in town to get some of the items fixed because, you know, all throughout Carroll County it was affected instead of just a couple general areas like Stella. 44 Sodom Road, as you know, was one of the cases. It only affected 3 to 4 homes as far as outage wise, but it had a widespread effect on people traveling through the road as far as being upset that they couldn't get through. I'd like to remind people that down wires are never safe to touch. We had 2 wires during the storm that remained hot, even though that they were taken down from trees in this particular case. One of them contained 7,200 volts, which is more than enough to kill you if you touch it. The other was a house drop that was laying in the middle of a yard on Butternut, and we taped that off as well as possible, as you know, during Halloween, which occurred during or after this item. The kids are all around Butternut up there, but that particular house drop was live in the middle of the driveway for a week until that got repaired. So you never know when the stuff is live. We did whatever we could as far as putting out yellow caution tape or road closed signs, anything that we could to keep people from getting injured from the down lines and stuff like that. Most of the stuff got taken care of fairly quickly as far as co-op, but again, there was a couple of items that took longer just because of devastation in different areas. The storm overwhelmed the dispatch fairly quickly, just because there was hundreds of calls coming into the dispatch throughout the county. Captain Pike and Rhonda Thompson worked in our central station radio room. They kept track of times, they kept track of poll numbers and things like that were coming in from our units, and that took some of the weight off of the calls going into dispatch. We didn't have to contact dispatch so much, and then we just faxed the information as we got it to New Hampshire Co-op after we made up a list of the different trees and wires down to a specific number that we have for them. The Emergency Management Department from the state was looking for cost estimates for the storm-related damage. This included emergency responses, mitigation, debris removal by the highway department. As we're still trying to get money back from Stella, I didn't think that it was a good idea to try to get money from this because we spent less money on this storm, fire less money, and a lot of the stuff from Stella wasn't covered, so it's a waste of time to try to get further funds from that. The town's emergency management generator was set up at the school in case of loss of power, and if the shelter needed to be open. A trailer from the Carroll County Coalition of Public Health was also moved from the parking lot at the county complex to the school. That contains cots and other supplies needed for shelter if we needed it. And now arrangements have been made to keep that trailer in town. It's in the Mirror Lake station behind the emergency management generator, so that we don't have to go out of town to get it. If it's needed, they'll pick it up from us from there. But it's good to have that supplies at our disposal if needed. The department is currently working with the police department to recertify them with the Narcan licensing. Skip Galvin, our paramedic, is working with them in reference to that. Along the lines of EMS-wise, we relicensed with the state for our transport license for another 2 years. We just received that the other day as far as licensing, so that's all set. The department has received an application from Arthur G. Hug of 1 Barber Point, Pole Road, Unit 4 in Mirror Lake. All background checks have been taken care of, and his certifications for firefighting are out of Connecticut. We'd like to go forward with the acceptance of his application if it's okay with the selectmen. So that's something that the selectmen usually say yes and no for that particular case. We have.
I happen to know Art personally.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, and I think he would be a good asset to the department.
We've had his application for some time, have been going through, just because some of his certifications are out of Connecticut, we're trying to follow up on that further, so it's taken some time with his application. So that is that case, and that's why it's taken so long. We also have a application from a young minor gentleman who has applied to the department as a junior firefighter. All the background checks have been complete with him, and because he's a minor, I'm just not giving the name out today. And it's great to see younger people coming in as far as department-wise and
We need them,
having.
don't we?
Yes, we do. Our department's getting older and older every day, each and every day. So we have been working with Kingswood Regional School, Representative Karen Duman, to set up a school-to-work program with a student from Kingswood. Wolfboro Fire Rescue is currently working with the work-to-school program in reference to the same type of item. And Deputy Chief Zzotti has sent me all the information to be able to use for example in this particular case. The student would be working and shadowing the crews during the day to learn the job as a firefighter. Obviously they're not paid, they're there to learn as far as the whole program. And it would be for specific set times that were set up for that. The student has a certain amount of blocks that they're able to come in, and then they go back to school. And this is usually a student that's in their last year of school.
So you have
17,
candidates
18.
for this?
We have a candidate for that has already been looked at, that the school has said, yes, you would be a good candidate, and there's no issues.
So the school's perspective, they're eligible to be in the program.
And I do know him personally through, when I was going through Cub Scouts, he was in the program. As
That
far
was a
as
long time ago, wasn't it? I went through the Cub Scouts.
when I was a leader in Cub Scouts, I should say. I never had the opportunity to go through. All right, so that's that. As the board knows, the ambulance contract will be coming up in 12/31 of 2018. This is the last year, obviously, of the contract. I would recommend that the town look into the different options as far as ambulance coverage, at least by May of 2018 for new contracts and such. And not wait until the last couple of months, when we get into actually looking into that. I, as a department head, am not against now looking into being part of a consortium, for example, with Meredith, Molten, Borough, Center Harbor, and Sandwich. Now that our department has an ambulance of our own that can be used if the contracted department's tied up. Obviously, in the past, I was against not having a dedicated ambulance.
So have you talked to either of these
I haven't. Usually, it's the select board and the fire chief that would make arrangements as far as a meeting and stuff like that. But without the select board's okay, I've done nothing in reference to that.
So if we need to start in May, or if you'd like us to start in May, we need to get some information prior to that.
Yes.
I would think.
Yep.
I
I
think
I think most definitely as far as that goes. Obviously, in the past, without having a guaranteed ambulance, you had the possibility of it taking too long for an ambulance to get into town. If the Meredith, the Wolfboro, and the Moltenboro units were tied up, then for the Stewart system, their mutual aid comes in from then Laconia, New Hampton, Salmonton, and things like that. That's a long ways that they come in. So that was my past hold up on not wanting to do that. But where we have a unit in station now, I'm not worried about that. I know that we can cover if we need to. Also, as chairman of Ossipee Valley Mutual Aid, I was notified by Sheriff Dominic Ricciardi from the sheriff's office that the second phase grant towards upgrading the radio system towards simulcast has been confirmed. However, there's still a tremendous amount of work needed to be completed before we can move forward with any upgrades and stuff like that. So I have told the CIP, because they had asked if there was any further movement as far as the grant, and I told them that there was. We have found that the plan that they had in place as far as some upgrades, there has been some changes. There's been a couple companies that have gone out of business that were going to supply some of the equipment. So some of the equipment may be more. The money might not be quite enough unless we have some type of change in the how they were planning to put the new system in place. So there's a lot of work to be accomplished for that. They have to have that and be able to tell the state by December 31st of the new plans and stuff like that. So we'll be working on that. And but that right now, I think that we were like $190,000 that we were looking at putting in capital improvement to upgrade our, to put a tower in and stuff like that. So that's off the books for now, which is good for town laws. Do you have anything further for that?
First item of business, no problem. The board's recommending he go forward with the 3 personnel issues.
No,
That's fine with me.
I know some of these people, and I'm like you, I'm in agreement. So, anything for the chief? I have one compliment, but go ahead.
I do have a couple other items once
Okay.
you get them.
I happened to come across you in your office on your day off making phone calls to get the 3 utilities to open up Sodom Road. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I say that as a compliment, not here to embarrass you, but
Yeah.
we appreciate your efforts.
Under the emergency management departments, under grants, we did receive a grant from the New Hampshire Department of Natural resources in reference to the forest and land side for forestry shirts. And the total grant amount was $914.44 that we have to cover. The reimbursement is 50%. Which in their particular case was slightly different as far as the amount because of shipping. Will be reimbursed $414.20 for 12 nomad shirts. So that's $414.20 that we didn't have to come up with in reference to that. So
And this is for
that'll
what?
come out of the grant section on the emergency management. We have $2,000 there that is in there.
This is for what?
Nomad shirts or
Oh,
forestry
Okay,
or fire protection shirts, I should say.
right. Don't wanna plug it for him.
Their New Hampshire DES has sent out a bulletin recommending that each fire station have its drinking water sampled or its wells sampled for PFAs compounds. And we have not ever had, we've only had Mirror Lake sampled once at the point in time that had some stuff in it as far as like chloroform and different stuff. We had the Mirror Lake well raised as far as the metal piping, or extended up, and what was happening, groundwater was getting into that as far as it goes. But it's never been sampled for PFAS. So that's something that, if the select board is okay with that, we will have 3 stations sent in as far as testing. We've never used the Class B foam around the stations or at the stations in my time period. And
That's the only source?
that is the major source as far as it goes. Apparently, they're saying that out of 7 stations that were tested, 6 of them tested for this in the state so far. But I will have the testing, get the samples taken and send it in. We do have that in the budget as far as sampling wise for the stations. But that is that Class B foam is the major source of those contaminants in most of the cases. As you know, like peas and different areas that have that stuff.
Steve Wingate may be able to help you because they do the well testing and the project they do every year. So.
And they were good about having all the information of where the stuff needs to be sent and what you need to do. So I will follow up on that and get that.
Who is the name on that letter? Is it Amy?
Brandon
Okay.
Cameron, the Drinking Water and Groundwater Bureau.
Nice guy.
Is that DES? The subdivision of DES?
Yes. Yep.
Great.
Anything else for the chief?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Have a nice holiday. Anything for us, Jack?
No. Program's all done.
Do you have a second? Congratulations on your course you took. What was that on?
Fireplace, chimneys, and
What's it? Yeah.
all that.
And you mentioned the boat ramp.
Boat ramp is complete.
Thank you for
That's the
trowel and
Melvin.
cement.
Yeah. Melvin, yeah. And I believe the wetlands permit for Mirror Lake is ready now. It should be there tomorrow. But I don't believe they're gonna be able to do it this fall.
And the docks are all done.
The docks are all done.
So we just owe them money.
And when they redid the dock next to the ramp, they tweaked it a little bit to the right, so it now parallels the ramp, so it'll be much easier to use.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking area down there.
Yeah. And the culvert had a leveler put on the end of it. So rip right down, so it won't wash everything out. They got brought up a little bit so it's not dumping underwater, because when the culvert's underwater, it won't flow. This stuff just settles out of it, it won't wash itself out, so it should be good for a while.
I want to change the subject. I understand the company that gave you the bid for cleaning this building, cleaning the other building. Do you have any suggestions on how we handle that going
Well,
forward?
they said they didn't have enough help right now to do it. I was just gonna get back to them in the early spring, winter time. Maybe they'll be slower and they can just come back and do it then, so if we can cover the money.
I think that's reasonable.
I have an estimate from them. They sent something out. They just said at the time they didn't have enough help.
And from your experience,
So I called somebody else and they got back to me. I got back to them and never heard from them again, so.
okay. Anything else for us? Anything for Jeff?
No?
Thank you for your efforts. It's appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you, Jake.
Yep.
Okay, next item is budget reviews. Financial administration is the first one on the list. Do we need Diane in here?
The only thing that was added was the avatar information. And that is in the, itemized in the back, as far as having avatar put up online, so.
Any questions?
So the $29,821 shows it where?
It should be under, let's see.
Or is it broken out?
It's
Computer
second
software.
page.
Yeah, second line down.
30,000.
Yeah, she just rounded up to 30. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Our computers are in good shape. This year was quite a challenge for you, I know.
And
So computer software this year is, we're over by about 10,000 on the budget.
Okay, that must, is that the copier?
So,
I think that, I can answer about that. I want to ask her, I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the
Yeah.
copy, excuse me, that's the
Yeah.
things we're just speaking about, the avatar and everything.
right.
Okay, we can go
Right.
ask her. It might be the malware bites and things like that, but I'll ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the copier the last item here, equipment lease and service? Is that where the copier is?
No, office equipment purchase.
where's the
Okay,
big time deal? Is that just in that? That's where all the money's going?
What's that?
Well, we've gone up $11,000.
Yep.
But that line is only going up $4,250. What was 25,750?
Yeah, it's going up a little over $4,000, so the other.
computers went, software went up 5,000.
4750. But where's the rest of it? I'm trying to find it.
She'll be right in. Yeah, so this is the one you guys looked at last meeting and tabled to Avatar, just look at
Right.
the Avatar.
Right. Well, it's the copier.
Incremental
It's-
changes.
No, it's a copier. All right, $6,500 on the front page at the top. Right there.
Oh, okay.
That's the bigger item.
Sorry.
And the other one is the increase of $4,000 and, yeah. So that's basically where it's at.
So it's a copier and computer software.
Right.
Yes.
We've overexpended computer software. Is there some, she's coming?
She's coming to, yeah. I mean, if it's a one-time thing that,
Well, we're at 35 this year. Are we gonna be at 35 next year?
well, that's why we're asking the question,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, she did put the summary for next year on the back. I'm not sure what the difference is for this year. I
Well-
believe the copier is taken out of equipment lease and service, I think,
Right.
for the printer, for the page for print costs.
Mhm.
This is riveting TV, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So-
You're trying to put people to sleep, right? Cue the elevator music, please.
No, it's a really
Haven't heard that
jazzy.
for a while.
How quiet can we be?
Dead space.
While we're waiting, do we want to go to another one or just?
Sure.
Yep.
The next item is insurance, 4196.
Yeah, we need Diane for that one as well, but we did chat about it on Friday, she and I, and.
This is for workers' compensation.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
this insurance,
Different one.
4196. And that's, the budget is up,
2,000.
less than $2,000.
Yeah.
And that's all in the workers' comp line. So I move approval of 4196 in the amount of $62,708.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0.
Excuse me.
Highways and streets, 4312.
Yeah, I guess my abacus was
No, it was that new math, wasn't it? sir?
dysfunctioning there last time.
We voted on
428,600,
and the math works out to 445,100.
right.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on this?
Well, I was trying to stay within the range of the 12, 13, 14 budget area, which was 420, 428, 423, and not have double-digit increases in the summer and winter maintenance, although the winter maintenance went up. So I'm going to make a motion to amend that approval of budget 4312 to 445,100.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Racing right along.
Yep.
Probably on the phone. Why don't I move along to review of minutes? I want you to get back on your roof, Chip. That's why.
Yeah,
last time-
good day for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it stopped snowing.
Stop snowing.
It's sunny at the lake.
It's what?
There was no snow when I left, and halfway across Union Wharf, it started to snow.
High
So
ground.
this is down here where you pay
Squalls
more
is
taxes to
what
get
we're
better weather.
It
an
changes.
experience today, so.
Well, there's 6
Okay.
zones in this town, so.
Tomorrow you're seeing 50 again.
All right.
Let's talk about Monday, November 13th, the 9 o'clock meeting.
I didn't see anything.
I didn't either, other than
Again, my compliments to you, Karen.
ending one sentence.
Is there a motion?
Move approval as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll take a break. Have a seat. We're talking about financial administration,
Okay.
your expertise. You have some questions, Chip?
I have a
Do
question.
you have questions?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're looking at the computer software lease line. And this year, the budget was 25,750, and what we've expended is 35,800 and change. So there, and we're looking for 30,000 this coming year, but are there some extraordinary charges that we came up with?
There is an error. I inadvertently charged the Avatar for 2018 in 2017. I should have held on to it until the next budget to pay it. And that comes to $8,493. So that reduces, I'm going to do a journal adjustment to fix that.
All right.
Apparently, we paid it at the beginning of 2017, and I didn't notice it. So I did a print on, I see that.
That's line 4150-30-390.
All right, and so what's the correct,
Yes.
what's the correct expended amount for this year?
Well, I'm not finished yet. Just the other reason why it's going to be, it may still be over after I do the journal adjustment, because we spent $2,695 for upgrades for Harris Computer, and there was a computer port malware purchase, and then there was $1,000 for Carbonite software backup for the server. And that comes to $2,695. So
So you're still under.
I'm going to credit the account $8,493, so that's going to reduce.
And then debit the account by $26.95.
No, it's already.
That's in the
Against-
35,
yeah,
824?
Would it be
Yes.
appropriate for us to table this until next meeting
So-
and let you work the figures out?
No, we should get it done.
No, I mean, you want to know what the expended amount's going to be.
Well, I think
After the journal
Well-
adjustment is what.
What we're looking to approve is the budget for next year. And because the amount that's expended already this year exceeds what we're looking for next year, we just want to understand so that we're not,
Okay.
so that we're not in a situation of approving
Yep.
30,000 and next year we have the same conversation again because we've expended 38,000. So,
I hear you.
yeah, so
And-
basically $8,500 that's in here is in here in error this year, right?
Correct.
It needs to go someplace else.
Correct.
So that brings us down to